What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is Orioles Today, and as always, I am Sean Ferguson. Thank you so much for continuing this holiday week here on this channel, and Thanksgiving is just one day away. We'll switch it up and do a little something different on the next episode for Thanksgiving, so please tune into that as well. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It really does mean a lot, and if you are a fan of this episode, please throw a bowl of yams at the like button. And if you're a fan of this content, please subscribe. Get yourself daily notifications for all of these daily video drops covering all things the Baltimore Orioles. And right now, it has been quiet. Ever since the Ward and Rodriguez trade between the Orioles and the Angels, the Orioles side of things, it has been a little quiet when it comes to making moves. Again, it is a long offseason, and we got started pretty aggressively with trades and waiver wire signings and a few free agent pickups here and there. Nothing massive. And again, the big trade between those two guys is the one that highlights everything. But since then, for the Orioles, it has been pretty quiet. You've seen a few moves throughout the league, especially with the trade between the Rangers and the Mets with Nemo and Simeon. So right now, pretty much around the entire league, besides that trade, it has been pretty quiet. And if you are paying attention to Orioles news and rumors throughout many outlets, there are still talks that are swirling around about rumors of certain players the Orioles could still be interested in, and guys that you need to keep an eye on because it doesn't matter how much money that they are going to cost when it comes to a free agent pickup, or even how much money they're currently making on their current team's contract. The Orioles could still pursue that trade. Keep your eyes and ears open and to this channel, because those moves will start to pick back up, and I wouldn't be surprised to see something come along this holiday weekend over the next couple of days. Just because it's the holidays, that does not mean that these teams are not pursuing these trades. So it is a little slow right now, but do not let that deter you from big moves that are on the horizon for the Orioles. At least the Orioles are definitely going to be involved in some big trades, hopefully a couple when it comes to starting pitching. But I'm telling you right now, this is, I would say, the calm before the storm. You got that big trade, and now you're going to start to see these other moves start to take place here very, very soon. So do not let the quiet deter you. And right now, I wanted to take a peek at the Orioles infield. I know we talked about the Orioles outfield and what that looks like right now. I know a lot of you are not thrilled with how it looks. The addition of Taylor Ward definitely helps, even more so in the power numbers, since that is something we were lacking, and you cannot right now depend on Tyler O'Neill. He is not giving you that type of reliability on him right now. So hopefully that will change in 2026. I know how many of you feel about Tyler O'Neill, including myself, but he is on the team. We are paying him a lot of money to be on the team. So if he is there and he is going to play, I hope he can get to a higher level and stay healthy. And again, the addition of Taylor Ward is going to help, and we'll see what happens with center field. But the infield right now, I like the infield better than I like the outfield. Right now, for your catchers, you have the likes of Samuel Basallo and Adley Rutschman. First base at the moment, you have Ryan Mountcastle and Kobe Mayo. And then second base is Jackson Holliday. Shortstop, Gunnar Henderson. Third base is Jordan Westberg. And Jeremiah Jackson, Maverick Hanley, and Ryan Noda could still be three guys depth-wise. We'll see what happens with who's going to go to AAA and who's going to stay on the big league roster. We'll see all that and what comes out of spring training. But right now, those could be three guys. And those are three guys that we saw on the big league roster last year to add to depth, mainly because of injury. But those could be three guys that the O's rely on as well. So how do you feel about that? Let me know what you guys think. I think catcher is solid. I know there's a ton of rumors still about teams calling about Adley Rutschman. Rutschman's not going anywhere. And I think Mike Elias is pretty firm on that too. Rutschman is not going to be traded. And Sam Basallo is going to be one of those future pieces as well. So, of course, we just signed him to the big extension. Catcher is solid. The main position that is not solid, and you guys know that, is first base. The Orioles have been still talking to others and possibly to other free agents about the first base position. Ryan Mountcastle was just tendered an offer, so he is still an Oriole. And Kobe Mayo is still there as well with the Orioles. And the possibility of Mountcastle being involved in a trade for a starting pitcher is something that is still out there. And there's many pitchers out there that the Orioles could pursue on the trade market. Joe Ryan, a Sandy Alcantara, Freddie Peralta. Those guys' names are still being thrown out there, and the Orioles could definitely pursue. And Ryan Mountcastle could be involved in that. He could be involved with other prospects to go get a starting pitcher of that caliber. So keep an eye on that as well. But that's what your first base looks like at the second. It is not as solid as catcher at all. I would say Kobe Mayo for the moment is going to get more playing time at first base if it stays with those two guys at first base. Jackson Holliday, I know a few also asked why do I believe that Jackson Holliday is set in stone at second base. I already talked about there's no way they're moving on from him right now. They brought him up through the minors very, very quick, and I thought so too quick. But I think he is slowly but surely progressing, and I think the guys around him are helping him out a lot as well. He's maturing fast, and I think there's no way they're going to move on from him at second base. Jackson Holliday will be your second baseman for the foreseeable future, and I'm okay with that. I think he is going to turn out to be a very, very good ball player at second base. Gunnar Henderson, he is your shortstop. He's coming off a massive season 2 seasons ago, but last season, not so much. And many fans, including myself, we are just so hopeful for the bounce back season for Gunnar. I think it is going to happen this year. And I definitely think it's going to happen if you see a few other guys step up. If you see Taylor Ward have the same great season that he had last year when it comes to his power numbers, I see that motivating Henderson. I think what Henderson and Santander had 2 years ago, I think that was so healthy for Henderson to have that, a fellow guy on the roster who can match his power and his home run numbers. I think that really helped Henderson out. So there's another guy on this roster that can kind of help Henderson's get back to the power that it once was at. I think that is going to help him out a lot, and you're going to see a bounce back season for Henderson in 2026. And third base right now, Jordan Westburg. I love Westburg at third base, and injuries got to him a little bit last year. And I think a healthy 2026 for Westburg is going to keep him solid at third base. You could see a few pieces possibly move around on that infield. We'll see. And I'm saying right now, for a healthy infield, this is pretty much what it looks like for the Orioles. But so much can happen with these trades. So much can happen with these free agent signings. It could definitely toss around this infield. But I think the infield is more solid than the outfield is. I definitely can see another outfield addition. Elias has said so. And I know a lot of you guys, you fellow diehard Orioles fans, believe the same thing, that the outfield isn't as solid as the infield, and the infield makes us a lot more comfortable the way we're looking at it right now. And a few other players that I have not mentioned about the Orioles potentially going out and getting, they are from Japan. We talked about Amai coming over as a starting pitcher, but there are 2 power bats that will be coming over from Japan. Okamoto is one of them. Kazuma Okamoto is only going to be 29 years old once the 2026 season starts, and he can play third base and first base. He can do corner, infield. So that could be something to keep an eye on, as we just talked about first base. He had a very good season last year in 2025 in Japan. 69 games played, a .327 batting average, 15 home runs and 49 RBIs. And again, just the fact that he can play corner infield is very helpful, because again, if injuries do arise, or what you need at first base right now, that could definitely be something to take a look at. And only 100 strikeouts through 4 seasons. That is massive. Now, obviously, with MLB talent being better than Japan, you can see those numbers increase. But that is something that really stands out to you, especially in this day and age. You're definitely looking for low numbers when it comes to strikeouts. And a power bat is something that the Orioles could definitely use. He hit 41 home runs back in 2023, which is amazing. And his contract right now isn't projected to be absolutely insane. And a lot of people are projecting, I should say, around a 3-year contract between, I would say, about $45 to $50 million. So that's not terrible. And when you take in the fact he could play either first or third, that's big for what the Orioles are looking for. Another one is Murakami, third baseman, but still something that you would like to have, as Murakami's only 25 years old, but the contract is going to be bigger than Okamoto's contract. you are looking at a deal probably between 90 to $100 million. And I'm not saying Sagana was terrible last year. Sagana was a nice middle to back end rotation guy. But if they're going to spend a lot of money on either Okamoto or Murakami, I would say this would be a little tougher of an acquisition for the Orioles, especially when there's other guys in the free agent market and the big leagues that have been in the big leagues for a while that they could pursue that have played against big league talent for years. So I would say the Orioles would definitely be more comfortable in going the way of a big league talent, per se, someone from Japan, especially with what they did with Sugano last year. But again, Sugano came in mid-30s. He was getting older. He was aging. But again, Murakami is only 25 years old when the 2026 season starts. And he has shown a lot of power. And he's someone that you could throw into your lineup right now, just like a Ward. You bring in Taylor Ward from the Angels, boom. This guy hit 36 home runs last year. And Murakami is a guy that you could throw into your lineup, which is into your infield too, that you didn't have a bat hit over 17 last year. You could throw this guy in there, and he's hitting well over that each year. So I'm just saying the Orioles could be in the mix for one of the two power bats that are coming out of Japan this year, Murakami or Okamoto. Again, Okamoto can play corner infield. He's only 29, Murakami third base, and that would be a 25-year-old coming in with a lot of time to develop and prove himself in the big leagues. Now, again, it's going to be tough with these guys. If the Yankees and the Dodgers want to be involved, it's going to be a bidding war. And you can even throw the Red Sox in there as well. Are the Orioles going to be able to outbid any of those teams? A lot of you guys have said no. I'm more leaning towards that with you because these other teams have a proven track record of keeping that wallet open, and they're cool with that. And they will throw any amount of money it takes to go after a ring. The Dodgers more so than any of these other teams. The Yankees are trying it, but the Dodgers have been more successful than other teams have been. So as of late. But watch out for the Dodgers, watch out for the Yankees, watch out for the Red Sox. We will see who the Orioles are able to snag away from these bigger teams. And we'll see if the Orioles do go after one of these power bats from Japan. And I did want to end this episode I've been talking about starting pitching a lot, but there are a couple of relievers out there that I wouldn't mind talking about. And one of them used to be an Oriole, and that's Danny Coulombe. He's 36 years old now, so he is aging a little bit. But I loved it when Danny came over in 2023 for the Orioles. I was sad that the Orioles didn't re-sign him and that he did go elsewhere this past season in 2025. But I definitely think that a veteran reliever and a left-handed reliever at that you could bring back to your team. He's already familiar with the organization, and even though that it is now under new management, man, I wouldn't mind having Danny there. He had a good year last year with two different teams. He had a 2.31 ERA, and like I said, I thought he was solid when we acquired him when we did, and he had been good since 23. Again, injuries took place, and that was a big reason of why the Orioles decided to let him go. But when he was here, he was proven to be strong and solid, and it was a big surprise to me when they decided to let him go elsewhere. And he is a guy that the Orioles could take a look at. And I had an episode where I talked about former Orioles that could come back. He was not on the list. I more so focused on the bats could they take a look at a Ryan O'Hearn or an Austin Hayes, maybe a Cedric Mullins, even though you guys got on me big about the Cedric Mullins. I was just talking about it, just throwing it out there. But Danny wasn't on that list, but he is someone that the Orioles could look at, and I wouldn't be mad if they brought him back. Let me know what you guys think about Danny coming back. And another one is Caleb Ferguson. He's also a left-handed reliever, but he's only 29 to Danny's 36. And he's got a career ERA of 3.66. He's coming off a 3.58 ERA season where he actually went 5-4 as well. And it's another guy that's not really being talked about right now. He isn't any conversations. Again, he isn't one of the most popular relievers out in free agency, and that's why I think it will be a sneaky pickup for the Orioles. And I'm not saying Caleb Ferguson just because he has my same last name, no relation, even though it's a pretty cool last name. Those two guys are definitely two guys that the Orioles could keep an eye on, and they would not break the bank either, so that will allow you more room to go out and spend more heavily so maybe so more on a starting pitcher, but you can get a couple of these back end relievers, maybe a new setup guy. I'm not completely sold on where Cano is right now. I know a lot of you guys aren't sold on where Cano is right now. So maybe a Danny Coulomb, maybe a Caleb Ferguson. Bring them in, see how they do in spring training, and that could possibly be a new setup guy for you as well. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into this latest episode. It really does mean a lot. Thanksgiving is just a day away, and I'm looking forward to posting another video for you guys and seeing you on that episode. And again, if you were a fan of this episode, please throw a bowl of yams at the like button. And if you're a fan of this content, please subscribe. Get yourself daily notifications for all of these daily video drops covering all things the Baltimore Orioles. But again, thank you so much for tuning into this latest episode. This is Orioles Today. I am Sean Ferguson, and let's go O's.